Hi friends, so I'm back with another video, and if you're new here, my name is Ebony. I'm a furniture artist and I specialize in taking neglected pieces of furniture and turning them into something beautiful. Okay, so the first step actually did not get recorded, but I made sure to clean the desk with TSP and hot water. And now here I am just scuff sanding the sides of the desk. I'm also going to deep sand all of the drawer fronts. And now I actually started out using an 80 grit sandpaper, but I realized quickly that it was a little too strong, so I went up to a 150 grit sandpaper, and I'm just gonna do that to all of the drawer fronts. So for the most part, my processes around here are always the same. So I am just priming the desk with my Zenbin shellac-based primer using my gravity-fed pneumatic spray gun. Okay, so here I am just sanding with a 400 grit sandpaper, and then I wiped back all of my sanding dust, and then it was time to paint. So today I'm actually using Bear's decorative chalk paint. I got this at Home Depot. Now I've used chalk paint in the past, but I've never really been a big fan. So I thought I'd give it another try since it's been a while. I've learned a lot more, and I will say the experience was a lot more pleasant, but I still just was not completely satisfied. I really just am not a fan of the chalkiness of chalk paint. And then I also just wanted the black to be a lot more rich, and I thought it was a little bit dull. So I went ahead and painted over this using my Command by Benjamin Moore, my leftover black paint from my last flip. So I just sanded it by hand very lightly, and I just painted right over it. So that's what I ended up doing, and let's just get into it. Okay, so now we're getting ready to prepare to add our veneer top. So I went ahead and made the measurements by connecting dots all the way down. and then I cut them out using first a box cutter, but then I quickly realized that the scissors were much better. Okay, so I'm going to be taking this contact cement and prying it open with first a flathead screwdriver and a paint can opener. And once I've got that open, I'm going to pour it into a tray, and I'm actually going to roll it. Now, it does come with a brush applicator, but that's just scratch that. That's not going to be any good for us. I'm going to go ahead and roll the top of the desk and the back of the veneer, and then we're going to attach the two pieces together. The one thing I've learned about contact cement is that it only attaches to each other. So what you're going to do is you're going to lay down some wooden dowels, and that's going to separate them, because once they attach, it's like cement. It's a done deal. So make sure you wear your gloves, make sure you have on a respirator mask. And I opened the windows because I'm inside today because it's freezing outside. So you want some ventilation, and I do also have a fan going in the background. Okay, so I'm actually just gonna use a book to kind of attach the two pieces and make sure it's nice and smooth. But there is a tool that they made just specifically for doing this. I opted not to get it because it's just a tool that I don't think I'm going to use very often. I actually don't know how many more times I'm going to do this method. It was very, it just had me very anxious, if I'm honest. I was very scared, and I knew if I messed up, it would be over, and this veneer was not cheap. Okay, so we'll see if I revisit this in the future, but for now, I'm just gonna use a book and just apply pressure. You could also use a board if you have like a scrap piece of wood on hand, but just make sure you apply pressure and remove any bumps. So now it's time to hand sand the drawers. I did this over the course of a few days just because it's very intense. And then also just to mention, I had to switch over to my work boots. I had on my good boots earlier, so just ignore that. And then once I put all of the drawers back into the desk, I realized that there was a contrast. And this is something that I did consider when I ordered the veneer, but I didn't really know any way around it. So I figured I would just try to make it work. And so I ended up taking General Finishes gel stain in the color Nutmeg, and I did 2 coats on the top of the desk and 1 coat on all of the drawers. And just be sure to wait as long as you can. I think I waited a day and a half in between each coat just so that I didn't mess up the finish. And the last step is to seal the desk using my Minwax Wipe-On Poly. I ended up applying 2 coats all over. I started by using a lint-free rag, but when I got to the drawers, I did notice that there were some lint particles there, so I switched over to one of my staining sponges, and that actually worked well for me. So I did 2 coats all over, and I waited maybe a day or a day and a half in between each coat just so that I didn't apply it too quickly. Again, you just want to be very careful when you're putting on layers. So that's what I did, and we're getting ready to see the reveal. I'm going to add the hardware, and I think you guys are really going to enjoy this transformation. Thank you all so much for watching this video to the end. And if you haven't had a chance to do so already, please be sure to check out my last video. And also be sure to hit that subscribe button. I'd love to have you here. And with that being said, I'll see you all very soon in my next video. So again, thank you so much for watching.